This is day 31 of dropshipping. Today I put out a campaign a little bit in the afternoon. I basically just made edits to the ads, pretty much mainly the fixing up the copy and basically toning it down a little bit and making it less aggressive because I learned that it's not just images that might affect the CPMs, but also like the overall like the copy itself or headlines or the hook like that. So like I said, I toned it down and I'm basically put out the new ads, and I ended up getting one sale while I was at the gym, and that got my hopes up, since one of the desires that got the sale was having good soft metrics but getting less of the spend, while the other one was getting most of the spend but performing pretty bad. So I ended up turning that one off, and I pretty much I'm just letting it run right now. I'm hoping the CPMs don't increase too much, and I'm hoping the metrics stay good. Um, so far, I've only got that sale, but I'm gonna keep it running, like I said, and yeah. But this video was mostly supposed to be about the things I've learned these past 30 days doing ecom. I wrote a couple things down here. The first thing is hooks is one of the main things that really did help a lot with improving the quality of the ads itself. Mainly because back then I would just I would use this video or this prompt that this guy gave in a video, and it was just basically telling AI, oh, just make it bold, make it emotional, make it to where it might like end up getting you banned on Meta or something like that. But obviously you can tone it down a bit. But that ended up not really giving me the best metrics, and I ended up finding a better criteria for the hooks and how to construct one. So I'm not saying I get perfect hooks every single time, but I do know how to diagnose or how to know whether like a hook is worth testing or not, and if I think it'll perform well or not. But yeah, that really helped a lot because CTRs did improve after that, even if sometimes they're still pretty bad. They ended up improving overall, that part of the metrics. And yeah. But the second thing is, I've realized that I've had a better eye for choosing out the images for the ads itself, because it might be one of those things that it's like super simple to do with the overall ad. Is probably the simplest thing to do for the ad, just creating an image or finding images. But it really takes a good understanding to find the right ones to maximize that area of the ad, or like the potential of it, because it could, back then I would just like generate the most random images that maybe brought attention, but they never actually brought the avatar in. And sometimes I would get low CPMs, but the people reading it wouldn't even resonate with the copy at all, because they would click on it thinking that it's something else, or they would just be curious buyers, or not buyers, but just curious people. And yeah, that's something I've improved on. I'm still getting better at it, but it's really just about just testing ads to figure out which ads work for the product or for the avatar that you're targeting. The third thing is finding avatars. Specifically, what I mean is understanding how to target a market that is not targeted by many or like any other brands, but still making sure, based on research, that they are willing to buy and not tend to tell you, or AI tend to tell you like certain avatars, angles, or desires to test without research to back it. Especially customer language, because another thing is also manual research. It really helps to understand what you're looking for within trying to find an avatar or desires, or what how to structure your copy, or what your copy should look like, to target or resonate with the avatar. And all that matters. So research is something, deep research is something that I really learned to take my time on and know what to look for. Another thing is working on finding what desires are worth testing within my avatar market. One thing I learned that helped is doing deep research, like I said before, with AI, and just trying to look for the right angles based on the customer language. Like I said in the manual research, you pretty much have to understand the people that you after you choose out your avatar. Um, Understand them so you know what exactly they want, like from the product, or what like problems they have. And pretty much also, like, with finding the right desires, I also lately what I've been focusing on, like these past few days, is choosing out obviously the right desires, like I said, but not only just to target the right things the avatar wants, or the right outcomes they want, but also so your UMP and your UMS like can overall like have a higher potential of like actually being good. And like I said, it's something I've been working on these past few days. I'm still trying to improve on it. It's what I did today for this copy that ended up getting the sale. It's also like it has really good soft metrics so far, so I think it definitely helps because it gives the person more buying intent rather than just like seeing something generic that every other brand talks about, going on the site to see what it is and then just clicking off and not thinking twice. But I think the UMP and the UMS are one of the main things within the copy that actually drive that feeling of wanting to buy for the customer. So it's something I'm trying to focus on more, trying to improve on, trying to niche down more, and find my own way of like making them feel like like if they were to say like, oh, that's such a good way of explaining it, so they could resonate with it and think that they discovered something new. But it's really just me like saying it in a different term or way. But yeah. Another thing I realized is that I can make some of the most saturated products like in the market or being sold into a winning product, because like, yeah, it might be saturated, but it's a good thing because I can all I have to do is just find an untapped market, or a somewhat untapped market, that and target it in a different way, so those people are willing to buy, since and not be generic or too broad, because then I'll be competing with other competitors or other brands, and that wouldn't be possible because I'm doing such a low budget while they're doing high budgets. um Another thing I definitely learned, I've definitely seen like progress, is the data, um like diagnosing the data or analyzing it, and pretty much knowing like what to plan out or what's wrong with the ads. Because before, what I would tend to do is I would just like take screenshots, send it to AI, and then AI would like tell me some weird ways of trying to fix the metrics within the ads or what was wrong. And I ended up just like being so confused. So I started like learning more with like experience, and actually realizing that it just takes like more experience and more tests to understand, like, or to actually get in like the flow of being efficient, of knowing how to diagnose your metrics and knowing what to fix within them. And another thing I did is also like anytime I was confused about fixing a certain metric, I would just watch a bunch of videos and take notes and try and really understand how to fix it in the best way possible. So the next ad I post or the next ad I make is includes that and has a better chance of performing much better. But yeah, lastly, being consistent is probably the most important of all. Without consistency, I wouldn't have learned any of this or half of this. um, there's a lot more that I learned, but this is all I could think of right now. These past 30 days have taught me that it takes time, and I just need to think of it long term, like what I could accomplish in like 1, 2, 3 years from now. And I may not have got many results, but the experience and knowledge has been 10 times like, the cost. And everything done today, all the work I've done this month, um, it's for the results I get like years from now or years from today. So, yeah. Like I said, there's other things I learned, but this is what I could think of right now. Day one, I said I would, you know, get a buzz cut if I missed a day, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna continue after this, but realized that there's still a lot to learn, and this is definitely possible. Um, I've learned a lot, and I'm gonna try and go for 90 days. I'm still gonna try and or if I miss a day, I'll still get the buzz cut, since it's something that honestly did push me to like stay consistent at first, but then eventually I got to a point where like, I enjoyed it and I liked documenting like, what was going on that day or what I did that day. So, I could keep it for later on, or I could see how far I've gotten like a year from now, or, more. But yeah, this is a long video. But I was pretty much just trying to fit a lot into, such a short time, since I don't want to make this too long. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for day 31. Gonna try and stay consistent and continue this, learn more, and eventually, the results will follow and everything. But I just need to keep learning and learning and just testing more ads and running more ads. But yeah, that's day 31.